and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Wednesday, 13 May 2026. I'm Katie Wechuma, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio. Sitima and Muka back in court. Zinasu President Hamauso and others arrested. Zimbabweans living in the diaspora to hold demonstrations at embassies across the world. Now let's take a look at our stories in detail. Defend the Constitution platform DCP youth convener Emmanuel Sitima and pro-democracy activist Takunda Muka were back in court today. The duo are facing trumped-up charges of malicious damage to property despite being victims of assault by ZANU-PF thugs. Today, the court remanded them in custody until 22 May 2026. The state also wants to add another charge of disorderly conduct. Zimbabwe Solidarity Movement coordinator Liam Kanenga said the duo have not committed any crime but are being punished for opposing Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Let's hear Kanenga speaking.
These comrades are innocent. We maintain that position without any fear of contradictions because it was clear that they are being targeted for resisting Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Because the day that the comrades walk to City Sports Center to where they wanted to express their views and apparently denied just like everyone else, but shown opposition to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. It is the exact same day when Takunda Muka's place of business is attacked, and when it's attacked by a fellow runner of a fellow community member who is also a runner of and he accuses them of damaging his property, which is not true, because Takunda Muka was actually reporting a case of assault when his place of business was attacked by ZANU-PF thugs. Then all of a sudden, it involves also Emmanuel Sitima. Then Sitima is taken a few days later and charged with the same crime. Then you ask yourself, all this does not stick and does not make sense. It does not stick and it does not make sense. It clearly shows that it was just mere targeting. Because this comrade who reported them is a youth chairman of ZANU-PF within the community. So we understood what he meant. But we continue to demand the freedom and unconditional release of our comrades. And we continue to say no to 2030, no to Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. We want a better Zimbabwe in our lifetime, a better Zimbabwe where dictatorship does not consolidate its control and rule through a corrupt legislation.
Police have arrested President Liberty Hamauso and others at Mbare Magistrates Court where they were attending the case of former Zinasu President Emmanuel Sitima and Takunda Muka. One of the senior opposition officials, Stephen Sarkozy Chuma, has condemned the arrest of student leaders, saying it is meant to instill fear among students ahead of CAP 3 going to debate in Parliament. Let's hear Chuma explaining.
Yes, we condemn in strongest terms the arrest of Zinasu President Liberty Hamauso and 3 other students. We hear that the 4 were arrested at Mbare Magistrates Courts this morning whilst they were attending in solidarity the court of former Zinasu President Emmanuel Sitima and pro-democracy activist Takunda Muka. What is clear is that Emmerson Mnangagwa, after taking away the grants from students, they now want to make sure that they muzzle the voice of students. We know that Hamauso, Sitima, and all the students that have been arrested, they are being arrested for questioning the status quo. They are being arrested for rejecting Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. It is very clear that Emmerson Mnangagwa is afraid of students. It is very clear that Emmerson Mnangagwa is afraid of young people. Hence, this clampdown on students.
Zimbabweans living in the UK will hold a protest this coming Friday outside the Zimbabwe Embassy in London. The protest will be against the controversial Cap 3. Later in the day, the protesters will proceed to the UK Prime Minister's offices at 10 Downing Street to present a petition against the bill and other human rights violations in Zimbabwe. Meanwhile, on Monday the 18th, there will be a protest across the world demanding a stop to Cap 3. The protests will also demand a diaspora voice on how Zimbabwe is governed, especially when Zimbabweans in the diaspora are among the main contributors in remittances. In the UK, protests will be held outside the Zimbabwe Embassy in London from 12 p.m. We spoke to one of the London protest organizers, Chennai Mutambasere, to give us more details.
On Monday, the 18th of May, 2026, we are going to be meeting outside Zimbabwe House. This date is particularly important because it is coinciding with the second reading of the bill in the parliament in Zimbabwe. We therefore want to send a resounding message that in the first instance, Zimbabweans in the diaspora have not been consulted as part of the public hearing consultation process, which is in direct violation of the Constitution and should really nullify the whole consultation process. The second thing we want to register is to let it be known that us as Zimbabweans, we are not co-signatories in this. We do not want the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Rather, what we want to focus on is to get our country back on the path towards democracy, where we can have credible, free and fair elections. We do not want Constitution Amendment Bill number 3 in its entirety rejected completely. And so we encourage all Zimbabweans living in the UK to make that sacrifice. Come and let's speak out together. The very fact that the embassy will be opened means that we actually have a direct connection to what is happening in Zimbabwe, and we are sending our messages directly through the embassy on the very same day that the bill is being read in Parliament. So I encourage everybody that can, please come through. If you can't come through this time, then please spread the word. Be part of the moment. Don't ignore the moment. This is a marked day in our history as a country and as a nation. And we must register. You must register that you were present and that you did something to let it be known to the world that you do not support the Constitution Amendment Bill number 3.
A community leader in Chireti South, Livingston Chikutu, has said it is senseless for corruption cartels like Wicknell Chivayo to continue splashing cars and money on individuals while the majority of citizens are suffering. Chikutu said some villagers go to bed on an empty stomach due to poverty, yet individuals linked to the president continue to spend big on cars for individuals. Zim Papers company has reportedly ordered its journalist who received a car from Wicknell Chivayo to reject the car or resign. The journalist was offered a car by Chivayo after recently interviewing him on Capitalk FM. The media group says it is against its policy for its staff to receive gifts worth more than $100. Medical aid societies have warned that proposed government reforms to bar them from operating or owning healthcare services could collapse the healthcare sector. The medical aid societies have warned that the decision to block them from owning healthcare services will leave a huge gap that will impact citizens' right to access health services. Currently, public hospitals are in a bad state and most citizens depend on medical aid societies and private health facilities for health care. Former Minister of Tourism Walter Mzembe has been acquitted of corruption charges by the High Court in Harare. Mzembe was released from prison last week on bail after spending 11 months in detention. He was facing charges of corruption emanating from distribution of TV sets meant for 2010 World Cup public viewing to churches. Speaking outside the courts, Mzembe said the justice system needs to speed up court cases so inmates, innocent or guilty, won't have to spend time awaiting trial. Let's hear him speaking.
The prison, there's a community out there which obviously sympathizes with. I believe that maybe up to 50% of the people who are currently incarcerated could be people like me, who have to be given the opportunity to defend themselves or to be defended, and then the rule of law will naturally pass its own verdict on them. And the sooner we speed up court processes and make sure that people do not stay in remand for inordinate times, I think the better. That's where the justice lies. It lies in the state's ability to efficiently and diligently discharge the justice within prescribed time frames. So as you would imagine, I spent 11 months, which is enough time to actually conceive and give birth. 9 months plus 2 months of breastfeeding that I spent in incarceration. But notwithstanding, I'm glad that the state has, in fact, the jury, the judge and the jury, they made the verdict that they've announced. I think it's the fairest thing. It was the fairest thing to do under the circumstances.
Serial killer Amos Rita appeared before Harare Regional Magistrates today, where he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of rape, 5 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of robbery. The murder charges against Rita will now be heard in the High Court following his indictment. A 23-year-old miner, Pardon Ruvengo, who spent 8 days trapped underground, said he survived on his own urine. Ruvengo survived the mine collapse, but his colleague Innocent Mere died before help could reach them. They were employed by Gansei Gold Mine in Mondoro. Ugandan detector Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, aged 81, was sworn in for a 7th term yesterday. Museveni, who has ruled since 1986, is accused of rigging elections. His main challenger, Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, better known as Bobi Wine, remains in hiding since the January polls, which were marked by violence and voter suppression. In our sports news, in the English Premiership promotion playoffs, Southampton beat Middlesbrough 2-1 after extra time to book their place in the final that will determine the 3rd team to be promoted into the Premier League. Southampton will face Hull City in the final. In the English Premier League, Manchester City take on Crystal Palace tonight at the Etihad Stadium. Ethiopian long-distance runner Yepukal Melese has died at the age of 36 after falling ill during a routine training session on Tuesday. The country's athletics federation has announced she was the winner of marathons in Houston, Prague and Shanghai and had been preparing for a race in Ottawa on 24 May. According to local media reports, she experienced a sudden medical emergency in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa. She was rushed to hospital but died despite the efforts of medical staff. To conclude our Citizens Movement Radio News, here are the headlines once more. Sitima and Muka back in court. ZINASO President Hamauswa and others arrested. Zimbabweans living in the diaspora to hold demonstrations at embassies across the world. This is the end of our bulletin. Good evening.